He's got a decently large champion pool. He's Orianna. Honestly, these shockwaves, we say it all the time. It's a brilliant ultimate to have, but if you can hit it, yeah. And we saw against NIP, the fight around Dragon where he managed to lock up just the support. He had no damage, he didn't really do much. So we'll see about that. Bans are coming in thick and fast. Lissandra, Lee Sin, and Ezreal banned out here against Alternate, obviously aimed at Freljord or Kerp, Aranea and Creatine. On the other side, Kassadin, Zac, and Twisted Fate taken out. That left Shen open. EG have gone straight for it.
That's really interesting because we know Wicked loves Aatrox lately. And it's been banned out against him quite a bit, but it's been left open, and yet he went for Shen. He went for more of a utility kind of top lane. Maybe Alternate were hoping you go for that Aatrox. I'm not exactly sure what's going through their heads, but obviously it's not going to get locked in. And I mean, I want to say one thing about Freljord's Orianna, because you're definitely right. He's 3-8 with her over the season. In the beginning, he looked phenomenal. In the summer promotion tournament, he looked phenomenal, but it just doesn't seem like it's been able to click lately, and it looks like he might not be on that champion this time.
I'd be very surprised to see them lock in. Well, I say that, but, you know, Froggen is an Ahri player as well. So they want to take this Ahri away, first of all, even though they have that last pick. But better to take it now maybe than to let Froggen get that himself. They've also locked in the Thresh for J-Reed.
Whoa. Sorry, I just noticed that fist come up, and I was just thinking to myself. But yeah, the Ahri. Freljord has phenomenal stats on her so far. 3 and 6. 50-50 is not bad, considering how much they've lost lately. And then also the Thresh. We've seen Jerry on him 7 times, won 4 of them. So it's not a bad champion in any rights for either of them. Of course, that hook in lane is always so deadly. And we're going to see how EG is going to deal with it. And I was going to say, thank God, Froggen. If you lock in that Fizz, Ahri is a really good counter to him. Is Fizz a him?
He's a fish. Fish, obviously, how they have a sex, but that's it.
I'm not sure my question yet.
I don't know if Fizz is a guy or a girl. Okay. That's what I'm saying. He's a fish, that's all I know. Okay. But on the other side, Sona being locked in here for Crepo now. Funnily enough, his Sona play has been really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about teams picking up Sona. It's always a safe support pick. And that crescendo can be so devastating. If you hit a 4 or 5 man crescendo, you completely lock up that team and allows you to get in there. Also, the poke you can do with her. I mean, in lane, she's a real hassle to deal with, but she is slow. So Thresh could land a hook on her. She's very squishy, as we know. I mean, barely more health or more tankiest than minions just based off of base stats. But he's going to be going with that one. And Soupy, he's going to be on Nasus. So he's actually hasn't ran Nasus against Alternate this season, but he has good stats on him. He's 5 for 7 with him. So they're getting a lot of comfort champions. And I really want to know, what are they going to round up their picks with?
A Twitch, at least, I imagine. We've seen that come from before, you know, with the whole Shen on your back.
That worked out so well for them yesterday.
Coming in. Don't fix what's not broken, is my motto in some things. On the other side, though, Alternate did lock in the Elise, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say might go to Aranea there in the jungle. He has played brilliantly on that Elise before. And then, of course, the Varus for Creatine.
All right, so we don't see a Fiddlesticks ban this time, which Fiddlesticks Varus is a really strong combo. Creatine, he's 3 for 3 with Varus right now. Yeah, you're seeing that Anivia, and it's getting you a little bit excited.
Well, Anivia is actually one of Froggen's statistically worst champions in the summer split, funnily enough. Not won a single game with it. And as such, he's going to switch from the bird to the fish, and we are going to be seeing that Fizz in there. Caitlyn was picked up for Yellow Pete. And what are we going to see as the final pick here, basically, for Kerp in
Last
that top
time
lane?
he did Karma when he was just spamming picks like this. And honestly, his Karma to me, it's done all right in the laning phase. It's done okay in the mid lane, or the mid game. But late game, it hasn't been able to be impactful with it. I mean, it's just such a nuisance to go against someone that can instantly heal 20% of your health, and then another 20% if they use the mantra on that, obviously. But the Fizz is going to have a hard time against Freljord on the Ahri. If you're going up to 1-to-1, if you pop your Playful Tricksters, get caught with a charm, you're stuck there for the entire duration of that damage. But Yellow Pete going to be on that Caitlyn, and he's actually 4 for 6 with her, so could be one of his comfort picks. I was a little bit sad as well to not see Twitch come in for that Yellow Submarine thing, but well, it's funny because he's actually Yellow Pete, and I always thought it was because Shen wore a yellow, the yellow skin of Shen comes in, it comes out of nowhere. Submarines do that. Thank you for at least nodding.
Awesome stuff. Awesome analysis of that and the naming of it. But we're going to be seeing a Singed. Yes, I love a bit of Singed. That's going to obviously be going into Kerp in this top lane. So see how that one all works out for him. And, Singed, we saw in that last game that what happens to Singed is that they get left alone far too often, in my opinion, and my experience from watching games at this top level as well. Obviously, they'll farm in between that first and second turret, as we saw in the last game from Zora Zero as well. But when it comes to that mid game, they often get underlooked, and they farm. You can farm so easily with that Singed, and he becomes so strong and tanky by the end that you can't really do a lot about him.
I mean, you saw Meatmakers, they had no answer for him, even though he was double the farm of Kuban in that game. A little bit different, but still, like, Singed is one of those champions. If you don't keep him in check, if you let him farm, just like you're saying, you can't kill him later on, as long as you play smart. So, EG, they're going to have to pay attention to that, because right now they don't have... And they have a pretty good team to lock him down. You have the Nasus Wither, you have the Shen Taunt, you have the Sonic Crescendo, but the thing is, if you're going to commit those 3 things to just the Singed, you're going to lose for the rest of the team fight. Like that, Wither needs to go on Varus to keep his attack speed down a little bit, and also they're looking to pretty much give them, I don't know, give Kerp a free lane, because he's actually running Ghost Teleport this game, and I'm pretty sure Aranea will want to at least go to his lane a little bit early on and go for that kill opportunity, because Elise is such a strong early game jungler.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Froggen coming out with this Fizz as well. We've seen time and time again the pick-off potential, the dueling potential, plus, let's be honest, once Fizz gets towards that end of the mid-game, towards the late game, he does so much damage that you can do, you have such a big impact going into those team fights. So we'll have to see how Froggen gets himself going with this one, but Alternate looking for that first victory of the weekend here, and a stark contrast to really the position that they found themselves in before. Of course, alongside the Lemdogs, the only other team to have ever been leading the LCS Europe Summer Split. So we'll see this one as we get into game. Evil Geniuses versus Alternate. Talk us through level 1 here, and again, he's got to be talking about that hook and the fling on the Alternate side with the Cocoon, a charm as well. That's quite a lot to throw at level 1.
Joe, you did a fantastic job of analyzing that level 1 right there. You really did, because that is exactly what Alternate has under their belt. They have so much control, and if Kerp can hit a fling and they pair that all in, that will be a very early first blood for Alternate. Kerp actually gets out of the bush a little bit early, but at least EG knows where they are, so they can kind of counter ward if they want to, because they currently have nothing on their own buffs, their own top side of that jungle.
Well, we're going to see them moving in. A lot of pings going down. Yellow Pete actually put the trap up by the blue buff on the other side of the map, so he's way out of his safety zone, so to speak. Well, they've seen Alternate coming up here, so they know exactly pretty much where they're going to be. And EG are setting up right now for a push in towards, a possible push at least, in towards this blue buff with 4 men down there. Froggen staying in mid lane.
And I think they're actually going to walk into that trap too. I mean, there's a very good opportunity for them to step in it. It's in a little bit of a weird place over in that blue bush, but if it does hit, then EG's going to be like, all right, we could probably easily go for this. And unfortunately, it does. And that was on Kerp. So now EG, are they going to stick around, or are they going to back away?
Yeah, really good positioning there. I mean, you've got to go into the bush. You're going to go into the bush at some point, and chose the perfect angle to walk straight on towards that trap there. So in the end, level 1 turns out to be, at least for now, not all that much. But we are going to see the start here on the buffs. Now, there's no Evelyn to steal away Snoopy's blue buff this time around. We saw Diamond Prox doing that for Gambit earlier on, so he'll be a little bit more safe in terms of that one. We saw Shen going down there as well, just to make sure that nothing happened around Snoopy's blue buff here from the start. So I expect they'll get both their blue and their red on both sides here.
Yeah, and I'm not really expecting any early game aggression on both these jungglers. I think they're going to farm up their own jungle, play a little passive just to make sure that they can get, their levels, their farm in. What I'm actually thinking about right now is the pressure that's on both these teams right now, Joe, has to be enormous, especially for Alternate, already going 0-4 in the Super Week, to be at the top of the tables for 7 weeks, then to potentially get relegated out in the Summer Split. How are they handling this?
Well, that's what we're really going to find out in this game. I mean, there's so much riding on this one in terms of, how it's going to come down towards the split. Alternate will be feeling slightly confident from that one just because of the fact that they've already beaten Evil Geniuses 3 times so far this season. But now we've seen how forms can swing over the course of just 1 day, and unfortunately for Alternate, it's kind of lasted 3 days up until now where they've not been able to be picking up the results. So we'll see if their fortunes can turn this time around. We see that Singed up in the top lane, just poisoning himself away. Obviously got himself an early CS lead, but Wicked won't be too bothered with that one, and he's going to farm under his turret.
Is that how you play Singed?
That is how everyone plays Singed. Or if you don't, you're doing it wrong.
That is very true. And it should be a pretty even lane, I would imagine, beginning, but Kerp, if he wants to proxy farm a little bit onto Wicked, he's going to have an easier time because Wicked, he's not tanky enough or has the regen enough to hold the lane or the wave off of his turret. But Kerp, he has the ability to farm a lot quicker than Wicked.
Yeah, he does, and that could be a danger at least for now. I mean, that poison obviously is going to do slight bits of damage, but not really anything that should trouble Wicked at this point. He started off actually Doran's Shield, Crystalline Flask start for Kerp, and here we see RNA coming towards Froggen in the middle, and Fizz, he's a naturally mobile champion as well. Not massive range on his mobility in terms of a if you compare it with a Cassidy or what have you, but he's got the ability to move.
Yeah, he does, and especially the dodge cocoons, though. He does get charmed up here.
Yeah, he's going to get hit with the charm, and there we see it. And cocoon going straight through underneath him. No flash, as I said, for Froggen, running teleport and ignite this time around. As we can see Snoopy coming in there. Jerry just had to back away. Tried for the hook, that didn't work out, and the Pink Ward won. Pink Ward won. Pink Ward War 1 in the bottom lane for EG.
That's impressive. I could not say that. But right now, I'm looking at this game, how it's developing. Snoopy hasn't come in a gank just yet. I mean, he did show bottom. He did clear out that ward, so if anything, he gives him that control of the bottom side of the jungle. Arne has visited middle once, but what my mind's focusing on is top lane, turret's not going to drop for either of those guys. I mean, Singe cannot farm under the turret, or auto-attack the turret when Wicked's there with that taunt. So he's going to have to pretty much just farm and leave it alone. Bottom lane, as we're already seeing, they're pretty much holding middle, but Snoopy's coming in for the side for a gank here.
He's coming in here once again. There is the Wither going down. Exhaust going to be flashed away from here by Jerry. There's a flayback flashing from Yellow Pete. Can he get another one? Oh, the Piltover came in, and Jerry just about lives through it with 1 bar of health.
And they blew a lot of summoners, but actually it was mostly EG the one going for all the summoners. JV he blew the flash, that was about it, and he was fine, but Froggen getting dove.
Yeah, under the turret here, this could be dangerous for him. Gonna get ignited up, and they're at least gonna force him away for now. They're full HP, they've got decent amount of minions there as well, and this could well be hardly any health remaining. I'm not sure that they're gonna take it with this wave. They possibly could. Now that Snoopy's coming around, that should probably back them off from it, but that is a heck of a lot of damage already on that middle outer turret.
Yeah, it really is, and I don't know, there's 2 benefits, or there's benefits for both sides if that turret does drop. So for Froggen, he can push the wave out, then you're not going to know where he's going to go. He could teleport into another lane and start picking up some kills. However, if Alternate get the turret down, then they get the same thing, the same benefit with Frownlord able to roam around. And we've seen in so many games with Frownlord on Ahri how effective he can be roaming around like that, and how effective and how much he can carry these games if he has opportunity.
And now we see Wicked actually, he's ahead at this very moment in terms of the CS. We saw an early Tear of the Goddess being picked up there over for Kerp, which, you know, you can stack it easily pretty much with Singe. You don't actually really have to do anything. You just have that poison running in there for that one. So he's got that in as early as he possibly can for this game running forward. And that lane, as we said, I don't expect there to be any action unless the jungler's actually aired up there.
Yeah, definitely. And Kerp, he's doing a fantastic job of farming, fantastic job of really punishing Wicked when he does come out to hit, last hit a couple of CS. But Wicked hasn't bought yet, so when he does go back, he'll be able to pick up some magic resist, I would believe, and be able to pick up a couple of health pots, so he can sustain a little bit longer. But right now, bottom lane, look at that CS disparity. 38 to 53, considering it's a Caitlyn versus Varus. You do have the range advantage. However, I would give the poke advantage over to Christian because he could do more damage with that piercing arrow and the hail of arrows.
Yeah, and right now, Frownlord and RNA headed down towards the blue buff here. Not expecting too much of an early dragon, to be honest, coming with this one, especially the fact that we've got the duos both in that bottom lane means there's a bit more control from both sides, and will probably then delay any action on the dragon as well.
And especially in 3.10, where the Spiderlings are really nerfed for RNA on the Elise, so it's not that easy to take it anymore. But right now, what I'm going to focus on is Snoopy not ganking. He's making sure to hold on to lanes, and he's putting a lot of his own money into these pink wards. And what it's doing is, it gives Froggen the opportunity to go for ganks. Do you see that pink ward that's right above mid lane right now? That makes it so he can just walk right through the enemy jungle and gank Singe. And that is actually a fantastic ward as Snoopy. So instead of actually being ganking, he's making it so the rest of his team can gank everyone else.
We'll see. No flash on Kerp either, but got that ghost anyway, which makes Singed probably even more annoying when he's got that insanity potion running as well. Super speedy by then. But we'll see if he can get up there and whether that Wither can be enough to really lock him down for Wicked to get in there and get a taunt off. Bottom lane, as you said, there's a 10 CS difference right now, both with Vancet Doran's Blade in, as Froggen gets his blue buff. So I want to see how Yellow Pete can really develop this and get himself caught back up.
And the thing is, we've seen Yellow Pete actually put up some fantastic numbers on Caitlyn when he does start to get rolling. And right now, with him being shut down like this, already down 18 CS with the wave already pushed into Alternate's lane, or into their own turret, he's going to be even further behind. But as you can see, first start of the game does go down, and what happens from this point on is going to be really crucial. And we always talk about games that, you know, they start off a little slow, but they're those ticking time bomb games where at some point in the game, you're going to have this these explosive fights break out, and I think it might be that Dragon, because now Alternate have that control with that turret being dom.
Yeah, turret going down there early on in the game as well, only 9 minutes into this one. That's a fantastic pickup here from Alternate, and all about having RNA just visit that mid lane once. It was pretty much what they did. And as soon as Frellenlord noticed that Froggen had backed away to pick up his blue buff, he actually went in there and finished off enough damage with the help of that decent wave of minions coming in as well. So, other items being picked up, Finnish Codex along with the double Doran's ring coming out for Frellenlord. On the other side, similar kind of stuff. A Snoopy here actually going to get cocooned up, but RNA are not going to have enough damage to get a kill there anyway.
I like how you touched off Frellenlord's items, by the way, because I was thinking during the champ select, you know, with a Fizz locked in, you're forced into a Zhonya's basically as an AP carry. Like, you cannot afford to get caught by that fish and then killed right off the bat. So I was curious because he always likes to go DFG first. And with that turret going down, with him having that CS advantage, but more importantly, not allowing Froggen to pick up any kills so far, means he can afford to go that. And that's going to really impact how this game goes.
This bottom lane, again, remains pretty stagnant in terms of kills and what have you, but Creaton CS lead has jumped to, before that wave had come in there, to a 30 CS lead. So Alternate on that front doing a really good job. Frellenlord just came down to see if he could have a bit of a chance on this bottom lane now that RNA has visited it, but EG not going to be giving anything away. They're sticking right onto the backside of their turret. Snoopy's going to have to come down and cover.
And yeah, one thing EG really loves about Nasus is the fact that you can stop these pushes. Like, he has great wave clear with his Spirit Fire. You can also get a lot of stacks. So he's just responding to what Alternate's doing. He's being reactive. And right now, he's behind in CS still at the same time. And I want to keep an eye on his Q stacks because that's going to become more important later on. He's at plus 78 right now. So it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good at this point. But he also hasn't been able to take advantage of what Nasus is so good at early on, is that Dragon. You hit that level 6 point, get a pink ward, and you can take it by yourself with your ultimate, and he's just been shut down from that because he's been forced to react everywhere else on the map.
So, another couple of items coming out here as well. The Cutlass added in for Creaton, BF Sword for Yellow Pete, and for Frellenlord here, it's going to be starting off the Dragon. There is a ward in the back of the pit here for EG, which will actually give them vision of that one, but this is a four-man team here. Crepo's going to come across. There is a crescendo. Teleport coming down as well, but the Dragon is going to be taken by Alternate. Can they pick up kills here, though, EG? Crepo going very low, and there is first blood to Creaton. He will go down after, though, to Wicked. Now they're chasing off towards Elise at the back. Little bit of a messy fight, but Froggen's going to be doing masses of damage. J-Ree goes down. Kerp is surely on his way out here as well, trying to escape from this one. He's finished off by Snoopy. There is another one for Yellow Pete, and right now a 4 for 3. Absolutely mental fight down by the Dragon. And in the end, look at Yellow Pete's health. He's been allowed to hammer away constantly through that fight.
I thought that too. Then I noticed where he was on the map. He wasn't in the fight.
Oh, he wasn't?
That's the crazy thing. He was not in the middle of that fight. He was actually, I believe, at base during that time. He was running back to the Dragon, and yet they still fought without him and still did that well. And that's the big thing I want to show, is that they were able to take them down. Froggen did a fantastic job. Now 1-1 and 2. He's able to start rolling now, and also they did pick up the Dragon at least. They do have that little bit of a gold advantage, but that shows right there that EG, they're pretty focused, and they're ready to make these team fights happen.
Yeah, and again, Snoopy and Wicked in the middle of that one doing a brilliant job. And yeah, just to clarify that one, because I certainly missed it, Yellow Pete was walking back from base. He literally walked the entire time back towards that fight to get things going from it. So, no, not an ideal situation to fight 5v4, but hats off to Evil Geniuses. They still came out with an advantage.
Yeah, and it just worked out so well for them. And Crepo, he took one for the team. Went in there, got a nice crescendo off, allowed Froggen to get in there into that fight and start to, get them very low. You saw how much damage he did. You even said it during that. He's doing so much with so little items. And if he keeps this up, if he's able to get that big ticket first item, he's going to be able to punish Alternate very hard.
So will EG try and bunch up now for a tower with Dragon not available? I don't think Frellenlord just came back and said, nope, you're not pushing here. You can get away from this mid lane. That one's mine. And that will be opened up to this bottom lane. Again, 110 to 94. So you can see that Yellow Pete has caught back up a little bit on that front.
Yeah, he has, and he's going to need to keep doing that because of his mid-game follow-up that he had, or that Caitlyn has. He's going to be able to power up a little bit later. But, you know, Joe, I'm looking at this game, and right now I'm thinking to myself, this is the EG we've seen prior weeks, not the Super Week. This is the EG that, instead of fighting, well, instead of mostly going for fights, going for pushes onto turrets, they're farming. And I'm really worried if they keep that up, if they just sit there and farm instead of playing the aggressive style that they used to do, I'm not sure that they'll be able to pull this win out. However, they do have a phenomenal late game team with their composition. And
right now they're going to go in to try and make something happen. Snoopy not able to get through though and lock down anyone with that wither. So not a lot to say about that one. Top lane, they've continued to bash heads here. That's Kerp, who's got the makings of that Rod of Ages. Sunfire Cape is already there actually for Wicked, so he's covered on the armor front right now, so he just gets flung away, and well, he doesn't really mind.
I can see like a slight smile on your face whenever you see Singe just flinging him away and just running all over him. But yeah, I mean, that's the pressure. However, Wicked's up in CS. And with that Sunfire Cape he picked up, yeah, it doesn't help him for the damage that Kerp's going to do to him, but it makes it so he can split push, or not split push, but be able to push out a lot easier since he'll have a lot more wave clear. But RNA, he's sitting in this bush, he wants to go for a kill here, and Wicked, he could be in trouble.
He needs to be very, very careful. There's a Cocoon landing, a fling going back, Taunt going straight through both of them. Neon Wicked back to the safety of his tunnel, no problem, as we are going to see Fish coming in as well. RNA are going to go low from that one as he gets knocked up. Froggen gets one. Can he kill Kerp? Realizes he can't and backs away.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very smart play on his part because he had red buff, he had double buff. He didn't want to lose it, but right now we see the Chain of Corruption landing.
Oh, but look at the crescendo thrown straight back in there at alternate, and Snoopy picks up one for Ellenlord going super low as well. There's the ace in the hole going through. One more hit from the Q from Snoopy. Probably would have done it there, but couldn't quite get in. Turret made a little bit dangerous for him. Wicked coming down now to this bottom lane with that Stan United. Will they be able to get the tower as well?
They can if they just wait around for that next wave of minions to come up. It looks like they're actually going to do that, as Wicked's just going to back out, get back towards that top lane to stop Kerp. And EG, fantastic job with them. Fantastic responses by Wicked, who, you know, he's already being fought in that top lane. He was already low on life, but he knew if he just gave them that shield, they would be able to turn that fight around. And not to mention Crepo with that fantastic crescendo coming in.
Yeah, it was a great reaction as well, wasn't it? You're just thinking, uh-oh, this is bad news for EG. Great chain of corruption from Creatine, but, well, turn around again from Crepo. That leaves EG 6-3 up in kills. They've now broken Alternate's gold total, and Froggen is at 2-1-2. He's just picked up a needlessly large Rod. Kerp in between the turrets here, just farming up as much as he can. And again, the fights look to be all about evil geniuses at this point in the game, and that must be a worrying thing for Alternate, because EG have the timer on the Dragon. It's coming up in 50 seconds or so time. And with EG winning these last couple of team fights like they have, they'll not be scared to go in for Dragon. And
that is the EG, or the COG EU we knew back in Season 2. They were the team fight team, the team to just straight take it to that late game. And right now, just looking at how they're going, I mean, Wicked's still doing well in CS compared to Kerp. He's pretty much dead even with him. But you can see, with that Sunfire Cape, he's able to push out past his own turret. So technically, they're both just proxy fire right now, not making it so they actually meet each other. But Wicked, he has his ultimate up in actually quite a while. I was trying to think, because we see a lot of Shen's rush Spirit Visage for the extra cooldown reduction to visit the other lanes for these ganks, but he's going for the armor first.
Well, we're going to see Evil Geniuses starting to gather for this one. Wicked coming down, doesn't have Stan United available to him just yet, which could probably do with when it comes down to the actual fight, but Dragon has now spawned. Alternate starting to move in there as well. Cocoon lands in on towards Crepo. And you see the damage from that volatile spiraling, not really doing much, of course, with the jungle, Elise. EG is setting up a
teleport
bit of a trap.
Has come in from Singe. He's going to be here. We might see a major teamfight breakout. Kerp's crescendo, not Kerp, Crepo's crescendo has finally come up here, and we see a flash engage out of him like he's been doing previously. EG's going to be looking very good for this fight.
Froggen has his ultimate available in this one as well. As EG gonna start the Dragon. Then we start to get rolling as a ward gets thrown in. Snoopy gonna try and clear that one out. He's taking a bit of damage, but honestly, that's pretty much a full combo there from Ellenlord, which didn't really scare him. Look at the Dragon. It's down below half HP. Aranea is going to be in there as well. Are they going to fight? Aranea getting locked up there. Chain of Corruption comes out crescendo onto the backside. Here comes Fizz. They're going for J-Ree first of all as they do get in there. J-Ree does go down to Yellow Pete. Aranea's low. They're all really, really low right now. In the end, it ends with a 1-for-1. I didn't actually catch who picked up the Dragon there, but we'll come back to that in just a second because they're still chasing. Everyone's super low here, and I think Curb just realized he's not actually got enough health to chase in for that one. Who picked up their Dragon then? It was EG that picked up the Dragon. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually a very weird play out of Aranea. So he got very low, he popped his repel, and he actually came down on top of Dragon, tried to burst it down before Snoopy could finish it off. But Snoopy obviously had, I guess, the better smite on that one. But that was a really weird fight. It's just a support for support, and not a lot of fighting after that because both teams realized, like, if we lose 2, 3, 4, or 4 more members, that's a huge amount of gold for the other team, and they can really apply a lot of pressure.
And it was a crucial stage of that fight. You saw how many health bars were actually blinking red there as well. So wouldn't have taken too much for it to really go badly for one team or the other. Right now, Blue Bus started here for EG. Aranea's actually coming around from the side. But there is Fisherman Fizz, who's going to come straight in. He'll take that one away. No problem. Froggen gets his blue. No challenge from Alternate.
As we talk about different item builds for... Wow. Poor Wicked. Can't even laughing that one away, but Froggen's actually going for not his Lich Bane, but I think he's going for his Death Cap or DFG as his first major item because he wants either potentially that extreme burst or I guess a little bit more sustained damage, as Lich Bane is mostly used just for a little bit more burst. But it's really interesting to see how people play the same champion differently and in terms of items. And Wicked's building up to that Spirit Visage, so he's going to have that cooldown reduction very soon, and that ultimate should be on a quicker cooldown than that teleport will be.
So Wicked has pushed this lane back. Actually, Crepo is up there as well. Yellow Pete being left on his own down in the bottom side of the jungle. Crepo just showed himself then. Kept like, oh wow, I didn't realize whatsoever that he was up here. That's Sona with me. But look at this, EG starting, they've got 3 men on this top side. Snoopy's actually stood on top of a ward, I do believe, in that top brush. His icon actually, yeah, it is. There is the ward. So they know that Snoop is there. And as such, Forellenlord had started to edge a little bit towards that top side as the hook comes out in middle, but hits the minion and doesn't catch the fish.
And right now, this is EG's time to shine. Creatine, he's freezing that the bottom lane, if I could say it correctly. And that means that EG will have a 5-on-4 fight when they want to go for it here. And it looks like they decided on this top lane. Froggen's going to do exactly what Bjergsen did yesterday on this Fizz and go bottom and just split push himself. And he should easily be able to take Creatine down 1v1.
So 4 men at top for EG.
Actually goes Zhonya's. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Zhonya's first for Froggen. So wants that extra protection in there, which you can understand as well. He does huge amounts of damage in those fights, but he's also not exactly tanky. So that's certainly going to help things out on that front. As the extra damage coming in there from the Piltover. Hook comes onto the minion. Are they going to be able to get through? Snoopy does get cocooned up there, but there's still that 3-man push coming in here on towards that tower. Right now, Froggen is pushing the bottom lane, and he's right up to the inner turret right here.
Yeah, he's not being punished at all, and Creatine, he's actually heading towards his top side. So Alternate, they might go for an engage here onto EG, and EG's got to play a little careful. They have to maybe start to back away a little bit as even Froggen's backing out. And that's because Kerp, he did back. He's going to be coming to lane to stop him. And Wicked, even being a Shen, he's able to stop Forellenlord's push.
Yeah, but they can deal with these towers very quickly. So here comes the teleport. J-Ree, you're in the middle of nowhere. He goes down. There is the repel away, but he's going to have to come back to him if anything else. Flash from Aranea, ace in the hole, scores a double for Yellow Pete.
And that is going to be a free turret for EG. Fantastic job by them. And remember, Ultimate, there's 0-4 this Super Week. EG's now 3-1. They are looking to take this game. They will have Dragon come up momentarily, but
Dragon,
forget Dragon.
We've got a Baron here to kill. About? We're going for Baron, 5-man EG team, 22 minutes 45 into this one, headed off towards Baron. It's at half HP. Forellenlord is sniffing around, wants to see if he can get in there for a bit of a steal. Baron is down to 600. It's picked up by Evil Geniuses. They're going to dive towards Forellenlord, who got exhausted in that one, but can you get away from Froggen? No, you can't. Stan United coming down. Can they lock onto Creatine? Great chain of corruption will say no to that one. Curp's actually behind the team right now, but one thing that you should learn is never chase a singed.
Oh, definitely not. And right now,
no one told Pete that.
With that Baron, though, I mean, they have the opportunity to go for some heavy pushing now with their whole composition. They have great wave clear with that Caitlyn. They have a lot of turret damage with a Nasus, not to mention Froggen, who has a lot of damage with that Sheen, and I would imagine would be going Lichbane next.
So 2 Spirit Visages brought out here. Froggen has just gone back and collected that Lichbane. Makings of a last whisper coming out for Yellow Pete. In fact, he's just headed back home again. Here's Recall going to go through, and he will finish off that last whisper. Meantime, though, Alternate pushing out, going to get themselves a bit of extra gold back by taking this bottom outer turret.
Yes, they are. But you know, honestly, it's good for them because they get something for free. But if EG catch them, it's going to be very bad. And EG with this Baron, what are they going to do? Are they going to be aggressive, or are they going to go back into their old style of, all right, we'll get the Baron, we'll push up a little bit, but then we're going to wait for the next Baron before our next part of aggression, and I hope EG doesn't do that.
Dragon. I mean, Dragons are very secure when you've got that Baron buff on you, and as such, they're going to head straight off to that one. It's up in less than 10 seconds. Actually headed up towards the blue buff here as well, and with Snoopy having Smite available, probably don't want to use it with the Dragon there. You'll save it for that, but they could take away this blue buff.
And that would be very huge for them, keeping it off of Fraudlord. He has some CDR built, but taking away that blue for his regen, taking it away for the extra CDR. And also, they might even face check into it, but Froggen, he does pick it up, and they're going to go for Dragon, so they're just playing the objective game currently.
Yeah, Dragon, the next target. Fizz just going to clear up that bottom wave. And look at the wards down here from Evil Genius as well. Brilliant stuff. The complete vision of that bottom side of the alternate map.
It looked like we were watching Meteor Makers for a second with the amount of vision that they had, but wow! Poor Pharrell and Lord gets knocked down below half health from an ace in the hole. Oh man, so that, at least with him that low, he's gonna have to go back and heal. And that gives EG another turret middle.
It's kind of scary, to be honest, that Yellow Pete's just done that much damage to him.
Yeah, he's 4-0-1. I mean, we talked about his Caitlyn earlier.
Second BF sword in there, that Bloodthirst, the last Whisper combo. Wicked, he is super tanky at this point as well. He's just going to stand right on the tower. That is going to be the final outer tower now taken down by EG. Will they go any further? There is Froggen getting hooked, but Alternate decide not to follow through the cocoon, not landing onto the target that they would have wanted, and that inner turret has taken a real bashing as well.
And are they going to continue with this though? Wicked, he is bottom lane. He has 2 of his CDR items built, so have the opportunity to ult a lot more often. And EG, it looks like they might want to play a little bit safe here, push up that top lane with Froggen, get a little bit of extra farm, and then keep that pressure on different lanes, but he does steal away the red, I believe.
Yeah, buff control is complete now for EG. Got the red buff, got the blue buff of Alternate. That's going to take away on that side of things. Question now is, can they actually push down this turret? Wicked at bottom, but he's got Stun United, so he can join into the fight if a fight actually happens. Well, until now, Alternate are trying to hold them back. This is their defense point. They're going to set up by this inner turret and try and keep that one alive, but something tells me that EG might actually get in for this.
I think Alternate might engage here. We have Kurt waiting in base with Home Guard boots.
Crescendo comes in, and there's the ultimate out of Froggen. They've lost for Ellenlord already. J-Ree's at half. Aranea going low. Pete stuck in onto him, and there is another 2 kills coming down. Froggen Gunner Zhonya's does finally go down as Kerp comes running through here, but it's Creatine and Kerp against Yellow Pete and Snoopy, and that's just thrown him straight in towards Creatine. Creatine just about living for now. Wicked coming around the side from this. Is he going to follow through? Ace in the hole. Flip over once again. But there is the Ignite running down, and Wicked takes that. That will be a 4-for-2 in favor of EG. They get the inner turret. They're going to have the inhibitor turret as well.
That could have been so ugly for EG too, because we saw Kerp. He was waiting in base the entire time. We knew that Alternate wanted to go for that engage there. They wanted to see his Home Guard boots come in, and you actually saw it during that fight. He flipped Froggen into the middle of his team, but luckily they come out 4-for-2. Or sorry, yes, it was 4-for-2, and they almost killed Creatine, so it was almost an ace. They get an inner inhibitor turret off of that, and they might be even looking for more. But now they have control of everything, just like you said. They got the blue, they got the red. Baron is currently down for them, but they have the timer on it easily. Dragon's down, which they already got, and they have the timer for. And now EG have the opportunity to go back, spend all that money they just accrued, and come back even stronger into Alternate.
That was so dangerous from Kerp. Throw in the AD carry towards your AD carry. Yellow Pete's like, well, thank you very much. I might as well try and go for this one. Almost
Save me a summoner.
Almost got that kill. Yeah, indeed. Free flash as he gets thrown back, but no, not quite the ace from EG. But in terms of what they've done now with the Baron, got 4 kills for 2, got the outer, the inner, and the inhibitor turret in that middle lane with it as well.
Yeah, so they just got so much gold income. They're currently up about 7,000 gold at this point. And Froggen, he is a terror. He has another Nisi large rod. He can split push by himself, and I think the only one who can possibly survive the damage that he'll put out is Kerp.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. And even then, he's probably going to hurt him a rather lot, let's say. And Kerp will probably have to just do a runner from that one. Certainly can't stick around for too long. And that wave is now pushing up. The inner turret, of course, is still there on the bottom and the top lane.
Ooh, we see an Infinity Edge come in for Yellow Pete. Just think if he had that last fight, Creatine definitely would have died. Well, that makes him so much more deadly. He doesn't have any attack speed, but he doesn't necessarily need it. He's trying to go for that sustain with that Bloodthirster. He's trying to use that Last Whisper to eat through Kerp, who currently doesn't really have any armor items, but with his ultimate up, he will have that extra armor. And right now, he has great protection because they're all going for Froggen. They don't even care about Yellow Pete, and yet he's 5-0-3 right now. They have to care about him, and yet they don't have the opportunity to do it because Froggen is such a threat.
Well, this next turret may go down right here. Alternate coming down to set up a defense, but Piercing Arrow and the Orb and the Charm now all used, and that will be EG picking up turret number 6. Ulti thrown out by Froggen, flashed away from, actually, from Alternate.
And right now, we talked about this in the beginning of the game, and I want to make it another point. Is that Wicked, with all those CDR items, his ultimate's already back up. He used it at the same time Kerp used Teleport, but his ultimate's been up for quite a while now, so he's able to split push a lot more. He's able to offer his shield quite a bit more to Froggen, who is the one diving in super far. And that means that Kerp won't have the ability to stop Wicked from split pushing.
Yeah, almost at max CDR, 35% now, so yeah.
Yeah.
Big CDR there for Wicked, and he's tanky along with it as well. So, what's next? What's the next target here for EG? The Baron is now back in play. J-Ree has got a bit of work to do there to actually get things warded. Okay,
this is something Crepo talked about to you and I the other day, or the first day of the Super Week. So when you have a support with level 1 boots, and you have an Oracle, instead of keeping that Oracle and buying green wards to put around the map, you actually buy a lot of pinks. So this means you can clear out the Baron Pit when you're not there, you can clear out the jungle when you're not there, and it gives you that opportunity to clear it a lot quicker and a lot safer. So this means that EG, they want to go for Baron here, and if Froggen's split pushing, but he has teleport to get in there. Kerp currently does not have it up. He will have it available very soon, but EG, with Yellow Pete there with his items, he can definitely take that Baron down very quickly.
Well, there was Kerp actually popping an Insanity Potion and going after Froggen, who just hopped and skipped away from it. Not really too worried with that one. We've got a more Malmortius now on Wicked as well.
Why not? He's 2-0-10. I mean, a little bit of extra damage in there. Doesn't really need that tankiness just yet because he's not the one being focused, so he's not too worried about it.
And there you see Froggen just decimating those waves of minions. No contest for him there, and he's just going to keep pushing up and pushing up. Problem with that is that Kerp, he's going to have his teleport back here pretty soon. And
pay attention to where all the wards for Alternate are. If they don't get cleared out, because currently there's one over towards that top middle side in that bush, and that means with his home guard, with his ghost, he can get in right behind him. It looks like he might even be waiting for it because he's still sitting in base. So EG, they have to be very careful here, and Froggen has to be very quick with his teleport to get back in and save him.
Well, let's see. Froggen is still pushing up there. We are going to see Kerp come down towards that area. So there is a charm landing onto Wicked. They throw everything at him and didn't really scratch him.
Yeah. I mean, with the magic resist from that Malmortius against a team that has triple AP, technically, why not? That ace in the hole is getting even stronger.
Yeah, more than half of his health gone. There's the inhibitor, and EG just sauntering on into the base to pick that one up, and now they're going to have positional advantage for Baron if Crepo clears out these wards that are actually in the brush, which of course he's going to do. That's the vision now pretty much gone for Alternate, so they have to be so very careful as to where they tread if they are to go and check out on that Baron area.
They have every possible advantage they could want right now with that inhibitor being down, with the control over the jungle of Alternate. This is the perfect position for them to be in. I want to point out Froggen. He's got 1,900 gold right now. He could buy a death cap when he backs, and if he does, he's a full item ahead of Frauenlord. But right now, Baron's being started. No one on Alternate is even near this at this point. However, Kerp is pushing out that bottom lane.
Yeah, 2 men in the top side. Kerp in the bottom lane. Alternate, absolutely zero vision at this stage of things. And this is going to be Baron number 2, picked up by Evil Geniuses with no challenge.
Wow, fantastic job by them. They're playing this so picture perfect right now. It's not as flashy right now, but it's exactly what they need to do to win, and that's all they care about at this point in this Super Week. And right now, I mean, I'm trying to think, what can Alternate do stop them. They have great wave clear, but they're down in inhibitors, so they need that available, or at least up again, to be able to push them away. However, EG, being 14-6 up, 10,000 gold up, plus a Baron, which is basically 8,000 gold in terms of stats, it's very hard for Ultimate to even straight up teamfight them anymore. Froggen has the damage to one-shot anyone except Kerp on Alternate right now.
There's a buff back for Creatine. They were taken away from him the last time around. Froggen hops through the Baron wall. No vision there still from Alternate, so even with that Baron down, they've just decided, should we leave it, should we go in? J-Reed just came through to put another ward down there, and EG seeming to be massing towards his top side, and why not? That's where the final inner turret remains.
Yes, it is, and Alternate, they don't even care about warding up their own jungle past that initial part, because they know there's no way they're going to be able to contest their own jungle right now. There's no way they're going to be able to get that farm, so if anything, they're saving that money in wards, or at least allocating them into different positions that are a little bit more advantageous for them. But right now, Wicked's pushing bot lane.
And they picked up that second Oracle for Froggen as well, which, he's the mobile one. He's the one that's looking for those different angles to come around. So it makes sense that you'd put the second one on towards Fizz there, as we are going to see the charm landing on towards Froggen, and just about gets it off there. Are we going to see him dive in? There is Stan United coming down as well. His ulti was thrown in as Chain of Corruption comes down. No crescendo could be valuable here, but Alternate starting to have to move away. Wicked down to half HP. Yellow Peak not really involved in the fight, but when he comes in, he will be able to do some damage. But Creatine has picked up Snoopy, and EG are right on the back foot. Wicked turns around. Here comes Froggen right into the middle of them. Is he going to be able to clean out? He gets charmed up once again, taken down there, but J-Reed now running away. He won't get anywhere. Ace in the hole. He's coming through. Pharrell dead. Ace Evil Geniuses.
Fantastic job by EG. Yellowpea picking up a quadra kill, and Joe, they're going to end it here.
They're going for it right now, and they've got the spawn timers as well. A brilliant performance here from Evil Geniuses. They've picked up the Barons, they set up all those team fights, and they are going to go 4 for 1 here in Super Week, taking down Alternate, who were the league leaders just a few weeks ago, and this week they've lost all 5 games.
Just wow. Just to lose all 5 in a Super Week with how many teams you had to play. Just fantastic job by EG, especially in that last fight, because I want to point out one thing in particular. Froggen, he got very low, as we saw. Wicked used his ultimate to get on top of him, and then he stayed. Wicked stayed there. Froggen decided, like, all right, I'm going to back away, and I'll teleport back in with Home Guard boots, and that caught Alternate so off guard. Not to mention Pharrell Lord, he got destroyed just by Stoopy and Wicked.
And look how much that means to Evil Geniuses as well here. So Yellow Pete, hands on head, sigh of relief really. But now Alternate, their fate was in their hands coming into this game. It's now no longer in their hands whatsoever. With 2 games to go, they basically need NIP to win the next game. If SK win the next game, it's bad news.